Good morning. So, back at it. I guess this would be number 7 episode. We're going to look at more things. Got a stack over here to see what can be taken from things from the recycle pile. To see what money can be made instead of throwing it into recycling. Just to recap, typically these things, these laptops, as is for weight for recycling, they're worth something like I think $4, $6. This is more like 2.5, probably because it's small. But a good rule of thumb, just to be liberal here on cost, is I've been saying I think $6 a piece. All right, so first thing we have here is we have an Acer netbook. Acer Aspire, which is notoriously cheap. However, if you look right there, it's got an i5 in it. So, it does have RAM in it. So, we just need to plug it up and see if it works. This particular plug, these Acers and Gateways are typically about the same. So I just have to find one. There we go. So I think I found the right one. So we'll plug it in. I was looking for one of those universals that's not just complete pain with all the different ends, but a lot of computers these days are kind of big on voltages, especially Dell, and some HPs. They don't like turning on with certain wattages or something like that. Okay, so this works. Now, the question is, let's see, delete and F2 are typical. Yeah, that'll bring us to the BIOS. Okay, old school i5. The product name is to give us an idea, Acer Aspire 1830T. All right, so pull up. My camera stopped. We're going to pull up a browser and see what we can come up with on costs. I'm using the Windows built-in camera program to record this, and if anybody has any better ideas on programs to use for the actual recording, I don't want to spend a ton of money. I'm not making money here. I'm just doing this as a kind of a fun thing to do. So something that's not terribly expensive would be nice. Okay, so we have an 1830T. Let's see what we got. 1830T Acer. These probably aren't worth much of anything. Well, interesting. We got an 1830T with a Celeron that's worth, well, it's going for $30. Very interesting. 154. Let's see if we can find i5 in there, because quite interesting. Okay, yeah, same one. i5 520. Wow, look at this, $374. Wow. Okay, let's look at sold. Well, okay. So it looks like everything that's being sold is with parts. All right. So I think what I'll do is, I think really honestly, on this one, I like to see them sold. I like to see them sold and have a proven track record, so I don't have my shelves filled with crap that's just not moving, especially lower cost stuff. So I'm still going to take this one and take the board out, and I'm going to put it up for $40. Who knows? Maybe it'll sell. One more thing here. One thing that I was doing is I was putting these aside and having to watch my own videos just so I could figure out what I was selling. So 1830T motherboard, $40. So that way I can make notes on things that I'm going to be selling. Okay, there's that. I've also got to figure out a little bit better situation here because I'm finding it's getting cluttered a little bit more than I'd like. Okay, here's an Asus. This Asus is a little bit nicer than your average. Cool thing about this one is that I believe it probably uses the same plug I just used. Let's see. No. Yeah, this one is more like a it's more like a Toshiba type of plug, which I have that here. Yeah, see, this is why I want to organize my chargers in a way where I can just pull which one I'd like. And I was thinking about making some sort of thing with a bunch of loops where I could just pull one out. Kind of like if you go to the hardware store, you see all those spools of wire and you can just pull out whichever one you want. That's what I think I might do. Alright, plug in. See a power light or a battery light. See right there? Okay, so it's getting power. So older i5. Let's see what happens when I turn it on. We got something looking on this screen. I have nothing. So it's still on, just nothing on the screen. Several reasons for this. Number one is RAM. There's no RAM in it. Number two is when these sit long enough, it kind of has to wake back up and kind of figure out what in the world's going on. It's been off for 3 years or something, and it has to kind of retrace everything to see what it is supposed to be doing here. So first thing I'm going to do, throw some RAM in here, make sure it's got some. It turns off by the button, which is a good sign. No, there's RAM in there. I just have nothing on the screen. Very interesting. So the next thing to do is to use that channel 4 right there, plug in this way, and see if we get anything on the external screen. Switch over to that real quick. We'll give it a minute, see if we get anything. Okay, so we're getting nothing. Let me tell you where I would stand with this one, okay? If you look at it, what's the first thing you notice? The first thing you notice on this, it's covered in dust, okay? When it's covered in dust like this, and this is obviously the original RAM, you know, hasn't been taken out. When it's covered in dust, you know, what I would usually come to conclusion of is that it probably overheated. And you may remember I did some reflow of a video chip a while back. That's what I think I'll do, because it's turning on and off like it's supposed to, just no video. Okay, and what I'm going to do, in pretense of that, I'm going to look up the cost of the motherboard that works on this. Okay, so because I can barely see that. So I'm going to go here under the microscope, see if I can see what this says. Kind of hard to read. Okay, here we go. With Asus, it says motherboard version. That's usually the model number 2. So, all right. Okay, so just remember this. K56CA. K56CA. All right. So, we'll see what that is. That's about. All right. K56CA. All right. So we've got a few things here. 100 bucks. That's not a lot. That's an i7. I don't know what this one is because it won't turn on. 30 bucks for a palm rest. That's not bad. So I think that's sold items. Well, that's okay though. How many we got? 59. Let me see about motherboard. Nothing. So the motherboard, that's K56CM. Okay. So that may very well be very similar, because just the one letter is different. So this might be the exact same one. I'm looking at this right here, and I'm looking at these two holes right here. They're where the RAM is. This right here, this plug right here, this right here, all of it matches. This right here, all of this matches the board I'm looking at. So this is probably the same board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call that this board 60 bucks if I can fix it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this one aside with a note. When we're done, I'll reflow it. See if we can get video on it. All right, reflow. Flow. That's a K56CA. All right, so this will be put aside, and that will be our finale, is to reflow that one. See what we can do. Okay, here we go. Another Acer. This one here is a very low end one. Matter of fact, it's just got the AMD sticker. One thing you'll find, let's say you go to garage sales to try to find stuff to resell in the tech. If you see anything with just the letters AMD, what that tells you is if it was a good processor, it would kind of shout it from the rooftops, right? It would say, hey, I'm an i7, or something like that. Whereas if you've got a low-end processor, it's just going to say the brand. See right here, this Dell says i7, right? If it says the processor and it's bragging about it on a sticker, that's decent. But if it doesn't, it's not. Now, I will tell you one other thing about these stickers. If you come across, let's say, a laptop that somebody says, hey, this works, and it's $5, you plug it in and it turns on. If it says down here on the Windows version stickers, this was 7. If you see something on here that says something like Vista Basic or Windows 7 Starter, run. Not worth $5. The reason is when it's a low-end processor like that, it's absolutely just going to be the cheapest, lowest end parts that you could find. Okay, so just a heads up. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to try to get this to turn on. This is the Acer, just like the Aspire, uses the same one. I plug it in. I've got a battery light here, right there. So let's plug it up and turn it on. I got power light, fans spinning, but I'm not really confident that this is worth much of anything. But we're just going to see if we can get any display, which we're not. See if we're getting any flashing. Oh yeah, so we're getting a flashing light here at the battery. That could mean the battery's charging. That could mean the battery's bad. That could mean there's no RAM in it. Lots of things. So what I'm going to do is turn it off. Oops, it just turned itself back on. All right, so it's turned off and it's doing that. So I'm guessing that means it's charging. All right, let me grab my screwdriver and we'll open that up to see if there's RAM in there. All right, so no profit yet, but just like in business, if I have a slow day where I don't make any money, I don't freak out about it. And if I make a ton of money one day, I don't pat myself on the back because the numbers all work out at the end. So while we may have not clocked any video just yet, it's too early to say because we still have lots to do. All right. Turning it on once again. There is RAM in there. Don't know why there's no video. Now, it could also be the same thing. It could be that it overheated. This one's covered in dust too. And just like the other one, we're going to... This is older. Yeah, this one's older. It doesn't even have the HDMI. It just has the VGA slot here, or the VGA plug. I'm actually going to call this one. I can tell you it's not worth much of anything. So this is going to be, oddly enough, our first profit of the day, which is going to be the all right. Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be just $6. That's what the average is on those. So $6 in recycling. So, you know, not the end of the world. $6. All right. So we're going to move on to the next one. You got a preview of that a second ago. That's this Dell. There is the new, kind of like the new small little Dell chargers that are actually the same with Dell and with HP. They won't necessarily charge it, but it'll at least power it up. So I've got my little bench one there. Pop it in there. These are really finicky. I'm seeing nothing on the charging light, but then again, these things act really weird. All right, so no power. I don't know if this is plugged in. It's plugged in. I'm pretty sure this one works here. Let's just be sure that it's working. 19 volts. Okay, good. All right, yeah, so it's working. So the question on this one is, we've seen this the other day, is this board getting the power from here, from this charger? So check, DC, jack. All right, so this is going to go aside for the end again. Okay, next one. This one's got tape on the corners. So that means the screen's probably been pulled out or looked at some point, or it's just coming apart. All right, again, see how that just says Intel inside? Doesn't say anything about the processor. This is probably something that would sell completely working for 40 bucks on eBay. I'm not even looking at it. That one is going to be another one. I'll add another $6, making our profit 12 bucks. It just, you can kind of see when something's not really worth your time. So that one's going to recycling. All right. All right. Toshiba. Back in the day, this was a pretty nice machine. Look how nice and shiny it looks, except for being dirty. But this is another one where you look at the sticker. It says i3. So this was a decent laptop back in the day. One thing I don't like about these sometimes is they're too damn shiny. Like if you have a certain light, you can't even see anything on here. But anyway, I do have a plug for it. Let's see what happens. All right. We got a battery light there. Kind of see it there. All right, we got a battery light. I'm pretty sure this one probably works. Okay. Fan, lights coming on. Yeah. So hitting F2, and this is an i3. Yeah, this is actually a high-end machine for its time. I mean, look at the size of those speakers. Had really good Harman Kardon speakers. Sounded good. Was a good machine. Now I could actually clean this up, throw Windows 10 on it, increase the RAM to 8, and probably get $250 here at the shop for it. But I don't know. For the purpose of the video, I'd rather just sell the parts. Let's see. Yeah, because it is pretty nice. And it's complete. So, anyway, with these, you've got part numbers right here. So I'm actually going to look up the part number of the motherboard and see what we can come up with. All right. So this is a Toshiba A505-S6005. Okay. So that is, yeah, see, look how cheap these things are. That's crazy. Parts only, parts only. So that's not working necessarily. But I'll bet you the motherboard probably goes for like 40 or 50 bucks. See, I don't like to sell full machines on eBay because people can either A, take parts out of it and then return it saying it doesn't work. And with eBay's wisdom, if they put down on their return that it was not working or not as described, even if you don't take returns, they'll still let them return it, which is stupid. Okay, let's look at, oh, that is sold. Okay, so that's what they're going for. Let's see if we got a motherboard in here. One of the things is that about these boards is you try to look for the actual model number of the board right here, because this board might fit in 7 different machines, you know. It's a tough one because look at this. You got different models all over the place, no exact matches. So if I take this part off, see if we find anything. Okay, now we're talking. 89 bucks, and it was sold. Wow. Weird, because look, same board, $90, $20. And the part on the board is probably this right here, this V number here. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is definitely worth looking into. Let's see how many are actually selling, because sometimes you'll have one that sells for 90 bucks and it's kind of a unicorn. Okay. So look, this one has sold 25 of them at 90 bucks. Okay, so I'm absolutely going to put this online on eBay. Absolutely going to put it on there for let's say, I think I'm going to put this on there on eBay for 75 bucks. And it will sell. These jokers in China are doing, 25 of them. I should sure be able to sell one. All right. So that's what, 75 bucks. And that's eBay money. So we're not going to put it as recycling, just eBay money. So 75 bucks. We are now over $2,000 in these 7 episodes, just going through these as we have been. That's great. All right. Unplugging that. And we will move to the next one. 75 bucks. That's awesome. Okay. Next one. This one's interesting because this one is simply pieces. Something tells me that I remember this computer. Something tells me I remember this because I had put it together and there was a problem with the board or something. I want to say that I remember it. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is look at this palm rest. Usually there's a reason I save this stuff. And with Dell, you got a part number right there. Well, you can't really see it too well, but it's right there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is look up some part numbers here. All right. So this would be a Dell, and it's 0RC3X0. Now, anytime you see a 0 in like a model number or a part number, anytime you see that stuff, it's not going to be a letter O, just so you know. That's just the rule, the standard. Okay, 30 bucks, 20 bucks, 25, 13, 29, 46. Let's see what any of them have sold at. 25 bucks. That was November. All right, that's going in the trash. Not worth the time, guys. Trash. Sorry about that. I keep dropping stuff over here. All right. Okay. Next one, right below that, which is from the same machine, I actually have. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so now I do remember this one. This was a weird Dell kind of prototype or something where it was called a switch, I believe. And what this switch did is that you could switch the back piece out here, which was kind of dumb, really. There's a little lever or latch here. Check this out. You do this, and you can pop this off to put what other color you want. I mean, that's just dumb. I don't know. Maybe some other people might find that interesting, but what a pain. I think you'd buy it. You'd spend $30 on extra skins for it, and then you'd forget all about it. That's what I think would happen. It's got a little damage right here. But it was important enough to where I actually wrote down the computer it came from. It was a 17RSE 7720. So that's worth looking at to see what we can do to find a lid. Whole lid works, okay? So it's Dell 17R SE 7720. It's a lid assembly. So let's see. Look at that. Not bad. I mean, considering this is at least 10 years old, sold for 127 bucks. All right. So, looking for the lid or screen. Those are sold. Okay. Let's put down screen. All right. Well, parts. Okay, I think this is it here. 7720. Yeah. Okay. So complete display with hinges and power cables. Okay. So because this sold December 5th for $40, free shipping. Boy, that's a tough one. Do we sell it for $30 plus shipping? I think if there's any listed, I'm going to skip it because that was 2 months ago. So if there's any that are current, okay, there's one, there's two, yeah, okay, yeah, three, and that one's brand new for $40. Okay, that one's going to trash. All right, next. See, I have all these things here that I wasn't sure why they're here. But we got to go through them. This is actually a palm rest for a Beats machine, and it's in pretty nice shape too. It's got the thumbprint reader on it. And what's cool about HP is they should have HP part numbers. I kind of don't see one here. At least it's not sticking way out at me. I mean, I see some numbers here that I could probably cross-reference. But, you know, one could be one thing, one could be another thing. Don't know. So I think I'm going to look up this first one. I'm not going to switch just yet until I type this in. TEE37Y37 TP203 BDD 446. Ooh, we actually got a hit on that. $21 listed, and yeah, there's only one listed, none have sold. So again, that's trash. So thing is, you got to kind of remember and really recognize that this is not money unless it's got a demand. It costs nothing but time if you have to put it in a box and let it sit there on your shelf, taking up space. So there goes the laptop again. All right. Okay. Yeah, so you have to just, if you're going to make any money doing this and not have a headache, you just got to decide what goes in the trash, cut your losses, and don't try to hit a home run with everything. All right, this one here is going to be this mess here. This is going to be the other part of that same laptop. So we got a motherboard to look at here. Tell you a funny story. This piece of wire right here, $200. Not this one, but back in the day, I needed a video cable, right? This is actually an antenna wire, but I needed a video cable to go to a machine. It was a Toshiba, nothing special, but the cable itself listed for $179, and like 6 different listings were all that. So that's why you got to go through the due diligence of looking up these things, because one day you'll come across something like this that for some reason is expensive and you can't find, or something. It's just, there's no telling why that's how much it is. In this particular case, though, when I charged the customer like $20 for the cable and I could not find it under $150, and going to, like Europe, I actually bought an as-is machine that cable lived in. Finally scooped one up for about 20 bucks. So I saved myself. Okay, so HP, right? Looks like everything's intact. Board, video cable is intact. Screen looks like it's intact. I don't know if there's any RAM, but I'm guessing there is because, oh yeah, I see it sticking out. Sticking out right there. RAM. All right, so let's see if we can get power. This uses that old school small plug. So plug it in. See if I don't know if we're getting lights. Okay, yeah, we got a light right here, right there. I'll plug it in again so you can see. Okay, if you're working on an HP and many other models, but this one, let's say, that light does not mean that it's getting power from this cord, okay? Very important. You can plug that in, no light comes on, but that doesn't mean this doesn't work, okay? It's a thing called a one-wire circuit, okay? A lot of these computers, you plug it in and that light comes on. What that means is that the power is coming into the computer and the computer is saying, okay, yes, I have power. Send a note back to that light to turn on white, or in the case if there was a battery in here, it would be orange, to say this is the status of the charging circuit and everything else. So if you plug it in and you get a light, like a little white light like that, or even better, like an orange light, that is excellent news. That's a very good sign, I should say. Okay, now, power button on this. I will show you something interesting. This, what we just threw in the trash, is for this computer. And the power button is right there. But there's no cable at all. So, what do we do? I will tell you. So, if it is over there, let's see. Yeah, the left side. So it sits right here. This is where the power plug goes in. Okay. I can't really show you very well without a microscope, so I will pull it up on the microscope and show you something. Okay. So, all right, where are we at? Okay, so it's hard finding this when it's just so magnified. Okay, it's at a weird angle too. There's that. Okay, that's going the other direction. Okay, sorry. It's like trying to, okay, here we go. So this is the power plug where it plugs in. And you've got several leads there. And if I am not mistaken, 2 of those have to be shorted out for it to turn on. So one thing to look at, okay? So you've got this large area here. This could be ground, and it could be nothing, which means that these two are either ground. They don't seem to be going anywhere. Okay, this one here goes into a capacitor. This one here goes through the board, This one here is over here. So it's hard to tell what's what. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to short out a couple of these and see if this fan starts turning. All right, no luck. Yeah, no luck. So the next thing would be to troubleshoot a different manner. It sucks that we don't have a power cord, but I do have some power buttons over here, and this one here has 4 leads. That's a simple power plug that just does, yeah, these both have 4 leads. All right, so this is a tough one. Because what do? We don't know if it works. Do we put it on eBay as working and then hope there's no issues? That's a tough one. And what was it worth? Like something like yeah, it doesn't say. All right, so we're gonna look this up. We've got right here a number to go by. All right, so I'm going to go to the browser and put this in. All right. All right, so this is DAY 33 AMB6CO. There he is right there. It's a revision C. Okay. Wow. What do we do? Part of me wants to research turning this on. And part of me wants to actually order a power button for this. But man, it's tough. Okay, so another thing we can do, and this is kind of a pain, guys, but what we can do is take the old button off, and using our multimeter, we can figure out what actually connects when you hit that button. Okay. This is kind of a pain, but it's a way to find out which ones we short out in order to yeah. Okay, so this might work out well. Actually, this might be a lot easier than expected because where we get here we go. The reason I say this might be a little easier than expected is because when I push down on the board, hear that? That's the button itself. So if I have the button right there, I would need 3 hands to figure it all out. But if I just put it upside down and I put my leads in continuity mode, I can tell which ones connect, I should say, when we push the power button. All right? So we're going to make these in continuity mode so when we touch them. So then we'll put it here and here. Whoops. Oh, the button was already pushed. All right. So let's try these two. Nothing. Let's try these two. Nothing. Basically, we're trying to see which two connect when we push the button. It's tough. Okay, all that means is that these are connected already. Wow. It's tough. What a pain, huh? All right, so the question is now, what is this exactly? What's the story? We have the switch pin 1, pin 2, pin 3, and pin 4. But we don't know. All right, so these ones are the same. I imagine these ones are the same. So when we push the button, those two connect, okay? We push the button, those two connect. Okay. But then what's tough is none of these seem to connect. It almost seems to me like this may be some sort of not actually a mechanical short being turned on, but instead an actual some sort of circuitry that's communicating for it to turn on rather than shorting two wires. That would explain why that could explain why there's 5, 6 leads on that when all the other ones I have here are 4. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list this on eBay as untested, and I'll say no signs of damage, and keeping in mind, although they were selling for $100, $89, keeping in mind that this is untested and they sold for that much. It's untested, and I'll put as is, but I'm going to put down $50. And if I'm able to get it to turn on, awesome. But I'm probably just going to throw it out there for $50 because it just doesn't make a lot of sense to spend all day beating myself up over that amount of money. Okay. So now we're going back here. Our profit is now $125. All right. we got 2 more, guys. Still. Put this aside. What a shame, because that motherboard could have been worth a lot. But that's okay, because you got volume. Okay, 2 more. They're both HPs, which means they both take the same plug. This one's really heavy, okay? When you got one that's really heavy, that usually means a touch screen and who knows what else. I don't know why touchscreens are more heavy. Usually it's because the chassis of the lid is heavier, rigid. Okay, this one's really heavy. Notice that it just says Pentium inside on it. Of course, we know what that means. That means it's cheap. It's probably a Stream or something along those lines. All right, 1 wire circuit is functional. We got an orange light. I'm pretty certain this probably works. Power. We have something happening here. Okay, we got a cap light blinking. I've seen this before where that means several things. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. All right, so we got 3 long, 2 short. So, we go to a new tab. And 3 long, 2 short blinks. Let's see what that means. All right. RAM related issues, or no RAM in this possibly. A lot of times people would work on something like this just to find out, when they toss it in the trash, that's all it was. So maybe there's no RAM in it. We'll see. And there we go. No RAM. Isn't it great when you look stuff up? and find out something that's simple is causing that. Okay, I'm looking for DDR3 RAM, but it's always nice when you have DDR3 that has an HP sticker on it. What that means is this came from an HP. This is an HP. This is the one most likely to work. Something other that is interesting about this particular laptop is you'll notice that it's got 2 slots of RAM, or does it? It's got one here and then nothing there, meaning that this was an option to put one here, but nobody did, meaning this is a low-end machine, okay? Probably a Walmart machine, all right? Now that we have that, now we'll plug it in, and I'll bet you we'll get something. I'm going to hit escape. There we go. Escape will bring up a menu that says, you know, information like F1, system info. Okay, so 4 gigs of RAM's in this. This is from 2017. It is an HP 15, but it's got a Pentium R CPU N3540 2.16. What that means, yeah, see what I mean about the touchscreen? That's what it was. That's why it's heavier. It's odd. I can touch that. It does stuff. Okay, so an N3540 processor, and one that sticker just says, "Hey, I'm Pentium." Okay, cool. We have a few things going here, believe it or not, even though it's a cheap machine. Okay, so I'm going to keep this screen up where I can see it, and I am going to pull up, actually, see if, trying to figure out the way to do this with just 2 hands. I think on this one here, I am going to look up the actual model number, which is, remember this for me, 15 dash, gosh, I can't see that. They make them so small, it's almost like on purpose. Let's look under here. All right. 15. See, look at that. That shit is an F. F222WM. F222WM. Like you're supposed to know that. All right. All right. F222WM. F222WM. It's a 15, actually. But I'm just putting that so I can remember it. All right. I have a feeling this one's going to surprise us maybe just a little bit. All right. So let's see what it's going for. It's probably not a terribly expensive machine, right? But there's somebody out there, some elderly woman that just loves her HP, and when it breaks, the screen falls off, or the thing falls off and breaks the screen. There's some lady that wants to spend the money to fix it. Look at this, $30. That's just parts. Okay, let's look for motherboard. Now remember, this board actually has no matches. This actually has a sticker, usually under the RAM, but I don't know that I saw it. Screen assembly. All right, this one here sold just a few days ago for $44 because it's a touch screen, I think. 15 F22 222WM. Okay, so this is when it might be a good idea to look up this motherboard. So we're 45 bucks in the green already. Okay, so when we're looking for motherboard, let's look at just listed things to see a part number. Okay, so I am just going to make a guess here. If this was nicer, maybe I'd sell it at the shop because I could probably get $200 out of this. Maybe. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this as... I wonder if I could clean that up. It's got a lot of scratches on it, guys. I think I'm going to do $30 plus shipping on the screen after I clean it up, because a lot of people don't care about little bits like that, and I can probably clean that off. And then I'm going to save 40 bucks for the motherboard. I don't know. I've got to get a part number off that, but I don't think we have any problem getting 30 and 40 off of those. That's 70 more. All right. $70 more dollars makes $195 with one to go. Okay. So I'm actually going to keep that. I'm going to keep that RAM door that I took off, just in case the idea to keep it strikes me. Because, I mean, if I kept it, it wouldn't really change our spreadsheet because the profit is made either way. Same thing, same kind of cord. Doesn't have a screen. That's okay. It's one of those ones that is probably very low end. No stickers. All right. Last one, guys. Hopefully this ends on a really great note. No screen. So we're going to plug it into our channel 4 HDMI here. Right there. All right. So first thing we do is plug it in to see if we get that one wire circuit talking back, looking for orange or white. Okay, orange, good. And then we'll switch over to channel 4. I hit the power. I see something. Okay. 3. Okay, so this one, interesting. This one I'm getting 3 long beeps, or sorry, 3 long blinks. And that's either one of two things. It's either 3 long blinks saying there's no LCD attached, which very well could be, or RAM missing. And I gotta be honest, I don't think it's RAM missing, because something tells me that this particular one has the RAM attached to the board. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it back in. Go to channel 4. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Maybe we'll get lucky. Anything? Nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay. Nothing. So I'm going to look it up, those 3 long blinks. They made this one a lot easier to see. It's an HP 250 G4. G4. 250 G4. Oh yeah. Look at this. Cheap. Very, very cheap. Alright, so we got 3 blinks. Memory module. What's weird is all the screws are in this, so it makes me wonder, did I remove the memory or not? Let's do this. Let's look and see what this motherboard sells for. Because if this motherboard is cheap, then I don't know if it's really worth my time today. Don't see any. Motherboard. Could that possibly be the case? i5? Guys, it's worth looking into. We're stuck. We're stuck. All right. I don't think we have a choice. We'd be doing ourselves a disservice if... Hey, sorry about that. I just didn't bring you up on that screen, did I? Okay, sorry. Let's go over that again. Sorry about that. Here we go. The 3 beeps means memory, or the 3 blinks. And look at the cost of this. $50, $50, 42, 37. Definitely worth looking into to see if we can get this up and going. So the very first thing I'm going to do, obviously, I got to take it apart. Take this off real quick. Only takes a minute. And then we will see if it's missing RAM. I'll tell you what, it's missing some screws, I think. Tell you what somebody has done here, which makes it difficult. Somebody has super glued or gorilla glued the feet down, and they covered up those screws. Alright, so we already know that this is just for a board. We're not going to resell this, so I'm going to force it open to see what the memory looks like. If you're wondering about the screwdriver, it's Aeromax. Had it a couple years. It holds a really nice charge, and it has a whole thing full of different adapters. Downside is maybe a little more torque might be nice. See, if I do that, I have to manually start it. But you know, all in all, I think the fact that I only have to charge it once every week or two, it was kind of nice. And the magnetic tip loses its magnetism kind of quick. Well, that surprised me when I pulled that up and it said that this board had an i5 on it. All right, almost, guys. All right. Here we go. So I always use a razor blade, put it in that little seam and just get it started. Get your fingernail in there, and then we can at least pop this open enough to see what the story is. No RAM. Okay, so that is going to be DDR3 as well. Another HP one, right? So use that. Okay, again, let's try it out. We're going to plug it in there, so that way we can get on our channel 4 on our screen right here. See what happens. Interesting. I noticed that there was a break right there. like a crack right there. That's because somebody else tried to get into this, maybe me, to see about that, where there was the feet glued down. Okay. Of course, now I can't reach the, let's push this together. I can't get the button to push. There we go. All right. Here we go. Move you over to channel 4. Let's see what happens. I don't hear anything. Something tells me I can kind of... I think it might be on. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. So we're going to hit enter there. And then when we come back, we'll hit escape, escape, escape. To get the ability to see the F1. We let this go. It'll switch. There we go. F1. Look at that. So it's got the 5005U CPU. Remember, when you search for things, you want to search for unique terms. You don't want to type in CPU. You don't want to type in i5. You don't want to type in Intel or 2.00 gigahertz. You want to type in what's unique. What's unique here is the actual number there, 5005U. Okay? So what we're going to do now, that's pretty awesome. All right, so going back here, I am going to type in 5005U, because that will tell us the exact board. 41 bucks, 50 bucks, parts only. These are working ones. But are they the same ones? Okay, yeah, they are. It's because this is on here. It makes it look different. All right, so 40 bucks and 50 bucks. Let's see what they have sold for. Okay. So one sold recently. Same exact one. But what's interesting, look at this. We have now been able to glean a part number. That's what we're looking for. So without even opening this up, I can tell you that pretty much this is going to be the part number. And it sold for 25 bucks. Okay. But poor presentation. Making it nice and look nice is good to have on an eBay auction. But notice one other thing. 25 bucks, right? But if you go down here, shipping, 25 British pounds, making it in the United States, 31 bucks. So if I wanted to buy this, I'm going to pay almost $60 total. So this will sell with a little bit better presentation. This is absolutely $50. We're going to add that to it. $245. So today our profit is just over 200 bucks, guys. 208, 210, 220. $220 is what we made today with our stack of dead laptops. So that's a good thing. That's awesome. I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to end this video here. I better write this down, remember? Motherboard. What do we say, 50 bucks? Okay, so now I put that in the stack of the couple that I have to take apart still. Now I won't forget why. Now I've got four laptops over here that I was going to look at because like the reflows and things like that. I'm going to make that another video. So at this point, I'm going to call it. Thanks again, everybody, for watching my videos. I didn't expect it to take off the way it has, and I appreciate everybody being respectful. You know, I'm not a professional YouTuber. This is not a professional studio. I do the best I can. I make no money doing this. I'm here at 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning so I can come in and do videos where my shop isn't terribly busy, and I'm going to London on Tuesday. So I'm trying to get some videos put together so everybody can enjoy them. But I'm going to go ahead and make the other video now, and I'll schedule it to upload a couple days after this. Anyway, thanks everybody, and I hope everybody has a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.